So first of all, I thank the team at Cyberonics for inviting and giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and my story of how I entered the cyberspace with actually a non-technical background or degree. So, who am I? So, as the popular tagline goes, I'm a penetration tester by profession and hacker by passion. So, uh, also, I happen to be a mechatronics engineering pass out from SRM Chennai. I'm an electronics hobbyist. Uh, Also, I see myself in the future as a cybersecurity researcher. I do I do take up bug bounty occasionally. I'm very unlucky when it comes to bug bounties. Whatever I report becomes duplicate or it comes under invalid. So I think I need to step up my game there. With CTF, I think I fare somewhat decently good. I play CTF in Try Hack Me platform, and I have a global standing in the top 1%. So before we actually continue with further topics, I just want you all to know some basics. Even though you are yet to enter the industry or you're planning to enter the industry or you are from a different industry, I think knowing these basic terms would help you better understand today's speech. So, so let's get started with the term hacking. So, hacking is generally defined as the process of identifying and exploiting weakness in a system. Like this is the educative definition given to this hacking or ethical hacking. Uh, so to actually complete this definition, I would add the process or the mindset of actually identifying and exploiting weakness in a system to actually gain unauthorized access to that particular system. Also, hacking is that uh, process or set of procedures you do actually to take up the admin controls. Like it is hacking is actually hacking actually is not related only to software and programs or digital applications. It might be analog too as well. Like generally hacking means like you take control of the main panel, or like you have the admin or root access, and you make the system function in another way which actually it is not intended to do so. So I would define hacking like that. So few basic terms to continue are the difference between bug and vulnerability. Wherever you go to apply to any entry level position as penetration tester or whatever, you would definitely get asked the difference between the bug and the vulnerability. So traditionally, bug is defined as an error or flaw or fault in a computer system or program that lets an opening or that lets an opening to help the system function in a different way rather than it is its actual manner. So when coming to vulnerability is actually a defect present in a system that an attacker or a malicious individual takes advantage of to crack into the system or to break into the system in an illegal way. Few other terms like general terms like people who want to get into the industry should know are like threat, attack, and attack vectors. Threat is something like that has the potential to cause harm. So threat actually it means like there are different types of threats for a network, a system, for cloud, and for applications. Even a malicious file is a threat to a system. So attack is like if you see at the considering the educative definition and the regular definition, I would go like it is like attack is a method to actually break into a system. That is the simple line here. And coming to the attack vectors, we would know vectors from physics like that has a direction. The same applies to ethical hacking as well. So attack vectors are the path, like it is the path by which an attacker actually gains access to a system. So these are other three terms you should know. And like you would have you would have come across these hack value and insider threat words if you actually follow some cybersecurity news articles or something like that. Hack value is like the actual value and a hack can actually provide. Like it may be for every hack the value is different. In a hospital information system, the hack value is medical data. In a transport system, the hack value is like the transportation data. So what in a bank system, the hack value is potentially money, dollars or whatever. So that is what I mean by hack value. And insider threat. Insider threat, to put it in a very simple way, I would call the threat or adversary working in the same organization or present inside the same building. Like it is very easy for an insider threat to access unauthorized resources rather than an outsider, and sometimes it gets pretty hard to figure out who really is the insider threat present in case of a security incident. So another basic term you guys all should know is the actual difference between information and cybersecurity. I think this question you would get asked almost in every interviews or internships wherever you go and attend. So information security, like it is the set of practices to keep the information intact in both digital and analog systems. Whereas cybersecurity focus only on online threats and digital systems and associated data. That is the main difference between information and cybersecurity and nothing else. Remember, guys, as I said, security doesn't limit itself, or hacking doesn't limit itself only to digital systems and online threats. It does have an extension in the hardware, analog systems, IoT systems are vulnerable. So there is immense possibility to extend the security. So before we continue further, we'll further we'll look at the steps or the process of hacking. This is
Sorry, excuse me, sir. Sorry to disturb you. Are you presenting the screen?
Yeah. Is it not?
No, it's not visible, sir.
Oops. Give me a second.
It is visible, Mr. Rahul.
Yeah. Prajoti, now is it visible?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah. So like I think we can continue. So now let us look at the steps of the hacking process. Like irrespective of the systems, it might be digital or analog. These are the basic steps that every hack actually uh, it is the process or the series of steps to be followed to get a system hacked. Like the first step would be the information gathering phase. Like even if we are trying to cheat a man, or it might be a human or living or non-living thing, the basic step is to know who our target is. That is what this information gathering phase is all about. Further, the steps are scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, and clearing tracks. Now, let us look into each step. So, information gathering or footprinting is the basic or the first step in hacking. So, in this preparatory phase, we collect data from broadly from three target groups. Like it will be from network, host, and people involved. What I mean by people involved is that, say, if we want to hack into a company, like say for example TCS, we would not only look up on the network and the host, we would look up for people who actually work in the TCS, and if it's possible, we try to talk with them, interact with them, and we would try our hands by actually gaining information from them as well. So this is the information gathering phase. So there are actually two types in information gathering or footprinting. That is active and passive. Active footprinting means like we are actually collecting data by actually interacting with the target or victim, and we go and ask people, right? So that is what comes under active, or we actually tamper with the network. So that would come under the active footprinting. And the passive collection is like we don't directly interact with the target. So passive footprinting actually, like it is like collecting information from maybe the internet, like the popular search database Google, or LinkedIn, or your social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So that is actually passive footprinting or passive information gathering. So the next step is scanning. Uh, in scanning, we actually have to we scan for all the ports, open ports, and the services running in them. Like we do check for any public exploits or vulnerabilities already present in the system, and we look for the topology of the network, routers, firewalls, all the resources or equipments belonging to the target organization. In the network mapping, this is a very it is a very valuable piece of information throughout the hacking process. So the next step is gaining access. This is the phase where an attacker actually breaks into the system or network using various tools or methods. Like after actually breaking into the system, he or she has to increase his privilege to administrator level, so that he can actually modify, do whatever damage, collect whatever data from the system like he has actually breaked into. So this is what this step actually is done. So after gaining access, we need to maintain access. Like hacking is actually done for fun and profit. It may be done for fun and profit. It may done for done as a mischievous activity. Uh, so this maintaining access is actually it help us know the intention of the hacker when we do the post forensic activity. So the next step is clearing tracks. There is a popular tagline which says "No logs is directly means no crime." So, and no thief ever wants to get caught, right? So, an intelligent hacker always clears all evidence so that in a later point of time, no one would actually find any traces leading to him or her. This involves like the person can actually modify, corrupt, or even delete the values of logs, or modifying registry values, and uninstall all applications that he used, and delete all the folders he actually created inside the system. So this is what the clearing tracks faces. So I think I've given the brief about this entire hacking steps. So we'll look at apart from the technical crowd, I think we have people from other industries as well. So I thought I would make this time. I would take your time to actually put in some awareness things into you as well, because digital safety is equally as important as internet hygiene is actually as important as your personal hygiene these days. That too post corona. Yeah. So. Like for a lot of time now, like since ages, women are actually taught how to be safe and how to maintain privacies. So in today's generation, women are leading as entrepreneurs. They create jobs for others. They are homemakers. They keep the family safe. They work as bank managers, and they take up leading roles as well. Even though this is the current situation in the modern world, women are still found to be victim in many cases, and they bear pain and loss in both personal and official lives more than men. So for this to happen, the cyber world or the virtual world has opened up a lot of new ways to reach out to men and to particularly attack them. So women are subjected to uh, in the cyber world, women are subjected to harassment via email, morphing, cyber defamation. Cyber defamation is what I call the character assassination. Like they are subjected to hacking, cyber stalking, cyber flirting. Using the morphing, they are subjected to cyber pornography. Their opinions are being suppressed, they are being judged by their posts. That is what comes under actually cyberbullying. uh, to basically reduce these harassment cases, these cyberbullying, I think women actually lack awareness. So the essential problem I feel is there is less of cyber or security awareness for women. So So again, to go with the educative definition, like when a woman is actually threatened, harassed, humiliated, or embarrassed via mobile phones, internet, that comes under the category of cyberbullying. So what actually makes cyberbullying so dangerous is that I feel it gives the bullies to actually embarrass anyone they want in public, that too at any time they want, using technology. So cyberbullying mainly is that it may be like posting any humiliating content of the victim. Like it may be even like your worst pics on. It may even if it's your best friend, if you are posting some very bad pictures of them for their birthday wish, even that too may come under cyberbullying. So regular, like if the victim's account is hacked, that too comes under cyberbullying. Vulgar messages, threatening calls, stalking, threats of pornography means that comes under the morphing category. So these are the main ways through which bullies actually bully the women. So like yeah, as said above, it may be humiliating texts sent to our cell phones, like other things. Like yeah, I find a lot of women, girls, like they are interested in creative works. They do have their own websites or blogs. Even in their blogs, I know a girl who personally writes, who personally blogs. Like she had to undergo some nasty comments in her blogs for actually putting out something poetic. So they somehow found her email. They they threatened her. So such things do happen. So like the impact is like it is just like any other bullying. So like we know bullies from school times, right? So the same is what happening over internet. More keyboard warriors these days, so this leads to emotional stress. Often we know women actually undergo the consequences even though they are the victim. So parents make women, girls, quit school or job. Eventually this cyberbullying would actually lead to suicide, given the improper conditions, or even if there is no proper monitoring for that girl, it may even lead to suicide. So the simple safety measures for women, like these are the basic things, like women and girls can take note of. Like the basic thing is to beware of fake profiles. Like girls can easily find out who really a guy is, or is it a real guy or a fake profile. And I sincerely suggest you maintain your privacy online by actually having your account settings in the private mode, or do not post any personal information, like do not keep yourself too updated. Like wherever you're going, don't take a picture, don't take a selfie with your college ID card or school ID card. Don't post anything that actually reveals your personal information, like where you are studying, like where you work, anything that might get leaked. To add on, there was a peculiar case where a guy, this happened in somewhere in a foreign country. There was a guy who took the fingerprints on the thumb of a girl from actually a photo, and he obtained he using some advanced algorithms. He obtained the fingerprint of that girl from a picture, and he put into use into he put it into malicious use, and that caused a lot of problems for that girl. So even your fingerprints can be obtained from your photographs, guys. There is something called metadata, so beware. And general things like the is that, like, don't let others peep into your accounts. I know few people who give their accounts to their friends. uh, Please do not do it, guys. It really is not safe. Even though they are your close friends, you may know them for a very long time. It really isn't that safe to share your social media accounts. Like your social media account is your digital identity. Whatever you post, whatever you share in your stories or posts, really means, like, that is today's perception of you. So be very careful with whom you are letting into your account. And regarding the chat rooms, like I with all the recent clubhouse thing happening, do not entertain or do not join unknown members. Do not participate with unknown members in chat rooms. Also, this can be extended to our hacking community as well. I request all the budding hackers not to join into unknown IRC channels. These IRC channels are very dangerous, and yeah, like, you don't know who really are there. So beware. And before you get into something, know it fully. That's what I would suggest, guys. So coming next is the digital safety for children. Uh, Post this pandemic, everybody needs to use internet. That is the condition right now. So even for school education, we are made to use mobile phones. So there isn't a lot of monitoring from parents to how the children use their mobile phones or what they are actually accessing. So, like, few tips would be, like, for children is like, have an basic authentication, like uh, have a protection for your files and folders, like disable your international transactions through which children get cheated on online games. uh, Make sure you have the Google Play Protect enabled. uh, if you are giving your personal device to your children, like who are very underage, make sure you do have turned your find my device option enabled, so that in case if it's lost somewhere, it is somewhat easy to actually trace out your phone in a map. So other few things is like, this is general thing, like you may want to update your emergency contact information. Like, you really don't know when you need this, but I seriously suggest this, you do your update your emergency contact information. And yeah, like safe browsing options, enable the safe browsing options for kids. Please use YouTube Kids app only. Like recently, a YouTuber called Madan from Tamil Nadu was arrested because his audience were mainly teenagers and school kids, but this guy was using a very nasty, vulgar language. So he was put into jail, and I don't know what's the case update right now. So enable parental controls for activating security features and safeguarding. This is the general guideline, guys. If you have some kid or some cousin of yours in school, like they have to attend online class, make sure at least the parents know about parental controls available in this technology, because not everybody has got the time to look out for the parental controls. So make sure you at least spread awareness among the elders in your family, so that they can take care individually of the kids in their home. You cannot actually individually go and monitor. You may not find the time to do that, but make sure at least you share the basic information with a legit elderly person. So this parental control is really helpful. It can block inappropriate apps, games, and media. It can restrict web browsers to show only pre-approved websites. It can restrict search engines for what a child. It has this control for 13 plus and 7 plus. And if a child is actually using some unwanted service, say in an online game, it can actually restrict, and you can get notified through the Google Family application. So next, I want to continue with the digital safety for in general for families. Like this comes for both women, children, men, and every person in the family. So give me a second. Yeah, like starting with awareness for families, like make sure you secure your home Wi-Fi network. Most of the routers have the default password as admin and username as admin and password as admin. Make sure you change it with the help of your service provider at least. And make sure like your Wi-Fi device is highly secured. Make sure that the Wi-Fi device is visible to you. Don't share your Wi-Fi network with your neighbors, please. That is very very dangerous. So in case of a cybercrime happening, even you will be called for investigation for some unknown things happening. I know a lot of people in not in individual houses but in flats sharing their Wi-Fi networks. But this is not sincerely advised. Do not do this. Do not share your Wi-Fi. So that is what I have to emphasize here. And apart from that, the regular suggestion is that make sure you have a very strong password, because there are a lot of brute forcing tools available which can actually crack your password literally in very few seconds. So make sure your password is strong. Make sure you do not use the default admin password and default password, and make sure that your Wi-Fi device is actually inside your house and it is very much visible and it is very much under your control. And make sure no unknown person actually connects to your network. Okay, so the next thing is regarding where do you actually place your computer for children and family. It is highly suggested that computers be placed in the common room or in the hall, so that even though cannot sit the throughout the day with your kids, at least you could occasionally monitor what the content your kids consume. So it is advised that you place your computer for children and family in a common place. So even for elders, there is some advice. Make sure you set a particular time in a day to spend your time with the electronic devices. I find a lot of elders spending more time than the teenagers and kids spending their time in social media like WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever. So please do monitor your child social media by actually. I request you to use the same social network what your children use. If they are in Facebook, make sure you are too in Facebook, and monitor what they actually share, what the content they actually produce. So make sure you to join the same social networking sites that your child uses. That is the main thing I want to emphasize here. So understand the need and set boundaries for online safety. The important key things is that for the main reason cyber stalking, bullying, everything happens is that kids or elders or women actually believe whatever is put out on the internet. They actually think a person who puts himself as a 20-year-old can actually be a 40-year-old man in real life. So make sure you do not believe whatever is put directly. Don't take information as it is in social media. So general things is that use chat rooms which can be monitored by elders. Like you have someone in your family to actually take care of your digital safety. So be open with them. Share whatever you are seeing. Uh, I know like this isn't easy to share whatever the content that is put out in social media with elders, but make sure at least you have a timing limit for electronic device usage in your daily routine. So this I can't stress enough. Secure a computer by actually updating your operating system and software regularly. So to the guys not in our industry, I just want to make sure. I don't know if you already know this. Companies actually provide you updates for operating systems and software regularly to actually patch the current vulnerabilities present in your software or system. So only if you are updating, you are patching yourself to the current vulnerabilities so that you become safe. So that no attack it doesn't leave any open room for an attacker to take advantage of the existing vulnerabilities. So every time an update is provided from the official vendor or manufacturer, I sincerely suggest that you update your operating system and softwares on a regular basis. So this is very very important for families, for companies, for organization, whomsoever it may be. So another advice for things for like this to install antivirus, desktop, firewall solutions against malware, unauthorized access. This actually doesn't come for the individuals, but it might be applicable to small businesses as well. Small businesses or startups who are just starting out fresh, they may not have the resources or the financial capabilities to install, but it is sincerely suggested for small businesses to allocate a small portion of their funding for the security purposes. If you are a success of a business or small scale startup does actually rely upon security. Without security in your product, without security for your organization, there is a huge chance that your business can fail or it can be hacked. So backing up your system, I suggest you take a offline backup of whatever critical data you have. Have a separate hard disk or pen drive or whatever. Have an offline backup for all the critical data which you have in your system or whatever. Also, it is suggested that you do take up a cloud backup in your OneDrive or a Google Drive, but it is more safer to have a offline backup. Like it is with you in your device, so you don't even need. Sometimes you may not have the access to internet. So in that case, if you want to refer to that data, it is preferable that you have the backup solution in your hand. So this is another basic thing. Use separate standard user accounts for family members. See, uh, not everybody has the same usage. A grandpa may actually have maximum usage of 1 hour per week, whereas the child who is studying in school, the minimum screen time is 10 hours for a school student after this online class things. So it is suggested that you use separate standard user accounts for different members. Okay. So the password policy is another important thing. I request you all to keep it in your mind. So that you create a very strong password the next time for your accounts. Okay. So Make sure it is at least 8 characters. For all the standard websites, there are password policy recommendations. But in case if you are starting with, you have to register into a application that does not have a password policy implementation, keep this in your mind. Your password must at least be 8 characters. It must have a combination of all the small letters and big letters. And it should be for banks, emphasize the timely periodical changing of your password. I sincerely suggest that you change your email passwords occasionally for at least 2 to 3 months or once. Also, remember to enable your multi-factor authentication and stuff. So this is another important thing. Be careful online and don't click suspicious links. This type of attack is what popularly is called phishing attacks. So make sure make sure to hover over the link which is provided to you via email or SMS, and you would know whether the URL actually redirects to that particular website. It may be given as www.amazon.com or whatever, but it may actually redirect to some fake phishing pages. So this is some basic thing I want you all to. This is very important that you do not click on unknown links from unknown persons, or even sometimes unknown links from your very close mates and friends or family. A single click is what is needed to activate the virus in your computer. So be very careful and do not click on suspicious links. And other thing is that you might have known this, like do not install mobile applications from unknown sources. There are many people in our communities doing this. It's very sad that I too happened to go through this once. I had my friend, like he's an acquaintance in my social media. He was actually an Android developer. He sent me an APK and asked me to download and test it. So like he just wanted to check with me the functionality and the appearance of the application. I downloaded, and my mobile has a basic antivirus which said this is very dangerous. I asked him what this actually is all about, and he told that sorry, I was just playing, making fun with you. So guys, whomsoever it may be, like even if it's your parents or someone, you just can't blindly click or download software or whatever software. Even there is a concept called steganography where the viruses can be patched behind gifs, images, videos, and it can be sent over social media to you. So we sincerely suggest that do not install software from unknown sources, please guys. So another basic thing is that look for the HTTPS in the URLs of the websites you make online transactions from. All it is recommended generally you look for the HTTPS thing in your URL, because the S is what means there is some basic security enabled. Know that without if the URL does not have a S, if it is only in HTTP, note that the application might not be the official bank application, might not be the official application, because every standard applications these days are just come with an HTTPS, that is called the SSL. So make sure the login or without the S, you do not transfer any money, you don't enter any username, any password, because that might be a potential phishing page. So until now, I think we have covered some basic security awareness for children, women, and family in general. Further, I would like to, this talk was actually meant to talk about my journey and technical background into the cybersecurity industry. So I would talk something about my story. So what actually made me choose cybersecurity? So in 2018, I used to have this habit of going to library whenever I can. This used to be in my first years actually, because I didn't really want to sit inside the class. I wanted to do something, you know. So I used to go to the library, and yeah, it is a very basic habit that my parents enforced me to, take up the newspaper and read to know the things. So I spent some time looking in the online news blogs for that time.
இது அது அரவிந்த் என்னமோ இது பண்ணனா அது ஆன் பண்ணேன்.
Guys, please mute yourself.
இதான் இப்ப எங்க போறீங்க?
So, like in 2018, I came across this Wipro data breach news. That made me actually look for the terms like hack value, security controls, insider threat. What is this data breach all about? So that was pretty interesting for me. So that was actually the basic starting point. I actually got into that made me turn back. Like there is something called ethical hacking. Like there is something called hacking, password cracking. A lot of terms. That was my first interaction with this field actually. So I wanted to do something with the hardware. I never wanted to get into the software or this side. So I was building a mini smart home assistant where I was actually there was some gentle introduction to electronic security. So I would like to share with you all the basic project I did. So it might be, you know, this is the smart home assistant, which actually changes the LED colors, and it could actually uh, like call out. It should actually call your names and respond to you. That was actually I did not build it from the core. I got a kit from the market, and I was trying to learn something. So that was how it all started. Uh, Further, I just figured out after some time that ethical hacking could be taken up as a career as well, and that is actually called cyber or information security in the market. How did I actually know that this can be taken up as a career? I was seeing some random YouTube interview of a hacker, so that's when I knew that that guy was actually running a private cybersecurity company that could actually take up clients' requirements and test their security standards. So I thought I should just take that up. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be a part of this industry. So I was trying, and I did complete my CH when I was in my college. So this is an industry certification, guys. Those who are not from our industry, just know that this is an industry certification. Like it is the entry level certification that is required. So most companies demand that you have this certification. This proves that you have the basic understanding of security concepts. So immediately after my college, I got this internship opportunity at Gurugram Police, where the internship actually contained like the domain experts from various fields like malware analysis, cyber forensics, cloud security. Dr. Rakshit Tandon was the main mentor, and he just invited all the domain experts and subject matter experts so that we were actually given a gentle outlook of the view, outlook of the subdomain. So that internship was actually very eye opening for me. I came to know a lot of things about the industry as a whole, cybersecurity industry as a whole. So further continuing, I would like to clear up some air regarding the general notions, the general how the society actually views hackers. So I titled it as general misconceptions about hackers. So hackers, like they don't roam around with a hoodie, considering the climate in India. Like they do not always roam around in a hoodie, and they are not always hacking into bank social media accounts. They all hackers do not come under the scammers category. They are actually scammers, and they are actually black hat hackers. So to broadly classify, there are white hat and black hat hackers. White hat are the people who are on the good side or the ethical part. Black hat are the bad ones, the malicious ones. So I would broadly classify them as white and black. So hackers are not antisocial, like how they are showcased in movies or web series. They are very much around us. They are very social, and they social engineering is a practice where hackers actually social engineering is a part of active information gathering. Like I told you, right? You could speak to a guy in LinkedIn to get their company information. So that is what social engineering is like is all about. Like you directly interact, like you interact with people to actually collect information. That is what social engineering is all about. So to do most of the hackers are they social engineering is a very important part of the hacking process. So if you are an introvert, you are antisocial, you really cannot do the social engineering, right? Although you can find a lot of loners in the hacking community, I don't think they are antisocial and stuffs like that. So that is the general misconception about hackers. So the next thing is I would like to let you all know how the life of a day in the life of a hacker or pen tester looks like. Like hacker, maybe it's a penetration tester in the industry. Okay. So the thing is, like, I get assigned with all the applications to be tested for security vulnerabilities from my organization. I initiate and complete the. I am responsible for manual dynamic analysis testing for websites, web applications, mobile applications, and all the API stuffs. So I'm a fresher too. I'm in my training period right now. So I'm learning and trying to give my best. Further, after the completion of the test, I collect all the proof of concepts for all the findings and draft a clean report with all the findings and remediations to be done in order to patch the findings. So this is what my typical workday looks like. So just to give an idea of the industry, like the domains are like security operations control, security operations center, SOC analyst or intrusion detection analyst. There are malware analysis guys who do reverse engineering. They are exploit developers basically. Like there is some part of the domain of the industry which comes under blue teaming. Like there are two broad categories in the industry: red teaming and blue teaming. Red teaming actually means the offensive security part, and blue teaming actually means the defensive security part. So the forensic and the threat intelligence, they all come under the SOC. They all come under the blue team. Whereas the penetration testing, offensive, red teaming all comes under the offensive security part. Apart from this, there are risk management professionals who do take care. They follow a set of. There are industry frameworks like NIST and ISO 27001. They follow that particular industry frameworks to further ensure the security of the applications or firewalls, networks, whatever. Uh, we know you should know what a CISO role is. He is the main contact point man of an organization who is responsible for all the security related incidents, engineering, architecture, and response. He is the main point of contact for. He is the man responsible for anything happening related to the security of the organization. So, like how a CMO is related, chief marketing officer is responsible for the marketing, or how a CTO is responsible for all the technical operations, technical things. A CISO is responsible for the security of the organization. So, further, coming on for the people who actually want to get into the industry, these are the skills required for an entry level role. The technical skills would be like you should know some basic Linux CLI commands, basic networking, encryption techniques, and it is good if you know some programming, if you have some programming knowledge and development exposure as well. This is the basic technical skill, and other desirable skills would be like if you have a pen testing methodology, like you have some strong bug bounty profile, if you have code review skills, and you really know what the OS top 10 is, you can actually you have demonstrable skills of the OS top 10. These are the desirable skill for penetration testing, you know. And other soft skills is that you should be very good in your communication, because you might you might have to communicate with your clients in order to, for if in case you're doing a VA, or if in case you are given an application that does not actually log in, you have to, in such situations, you have to interact with your client to know the organizational or the application details as well. So you need to be very good with your communication. You have to have report writing skills, and then you have to be very non-complacent in nature. You have to have the competitive spirit in you. You have to keep learning every day, because uh, you people know, this is the only industry that gets updated every few hours. Every few hours, new findings, new CVEs, new vulnerabilities, new exploits keep on emerging. So you need to be on the track every day, every moment. So I suggest you have that, that competitive spirit. For that is the mindset you need for a cybersecurity role or penetration testing role. So you need to learn every day. You need to keep yourself updated with the industry. So uh, further, let's actually have a very brief introduction of the recent OWASP top 10 for web applications. I don't know how many of you are from the cybersecurity industry and how many of you are not from our industry. So I think we'll have very brief introduction about this OWASP top 10. So the first thing is broken access control. So like it is also called authorization. It defines how a web application actually grants access to the content and functions of some users and not others. I think earlier it was in the fifth question in 2017 OWASP listings. And the second thing is cryptographic failures. I told you to look for HTTPS, right? That is what this cryptography, like, basically for for the understanding purpose I'm telling. Earlier it was called sensitive data exposure, and the lack of encryption or the secure flag often leads to sensitive data exposure or system compromise actually. The next thing is injection related attacks. So it is that technique which the attacker actually inputs a non-validated, he inputs some specially crafted commands. It might be SQL commands, it may be LDAP commands, whatever, into a web application to act that actually get executed in the backend web database. So this injection type attack is very dangerous. And the next one is insecure design. So this is the new category of vulnerabilities in the WASP Top 2021. It actually focuses on the risks related to design and architectural flaws. So it represents many different weaknesses expressed as missing or ineffective control design in general. So next thing is A05 is security misconfiguration. So it basically focuses on security hardening across the application, or improperly configured permissions on cloud services. And also this, if you are working with your mobile applications, this permissions play a key role with your security of your mobile application as well. So the next thing is vulnerable and outdated components. So I still know come across a lot of applications that do use outdated components. I was talking about that you should update your software regularly, right? So your systems and software regularly, right? That is what applies here as well. If you are using a already vulnerable and an old version of a component, you are already vulnerable. So that is what this means. So it is suggested that the developers of the application are educated well enough to trust only on the latest versions, latest components. So the next thing is identification and authentication failures. Earlier it was known as broken authentication, and this category mainly focuses on authentication failures only. So it may lead to automated attacks such as credential stuffing, in which the attacker use a list of usernames and passwords like the brute force. So the next thing is software and data integrity failures. So this is also another new category introduced in the OS top 10. So this focuses on software and data integrity failures related to code and infrastructure that do not protect against integrity violations. So basically, any information system should follow the CAA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So this is a popular term inside our industry, and any information system should follow these things. So if there is a compromise in either of the three, and that seriously is a big trouble. So the next thing is security logging and monitoring failures. So this has moved from one step from the 10th version from the previous version. This category of vulnerabilities actually helps to detect, escalate, and respond to active breaches as well. So the last thing is server-side request forgery. This category actually, it focuses on securing a connection that website or web application is actually when it fetches a remote resource without validating the user supplied URL. Like you may get resource from other sources as well, apart from the supplied website URL. So this is the gentle basic introduction for the OWASP top 10. I know this is a very extensive topic. I can take this as one separate topic for one session alone. So if given an opportunity, I would like to elaborate more on this. So let's see what really happens. So the next thing is that I just want to share what I actually did to enter into the ethical hacking cybersecurity industry without a technology degree. So my majors is mechatronics engineering, right? So I come from engineering background. What I did was I found out my interest pretty early. I knew I was not interested in mechatronics engineering. I didn't want to take it up as my career. So I figured out stuffs early on, like second year, third year. I really started looking into stuffs. So apart from that, I was actually trying and waiting till I could actually resent in a fairly decent offer. And this guy's this is my really fifth or sixth offer which I have taken. So I didn't want to take up offers from which had a bond period or something like that. So I wanted to keep my options open, and I had to stay patient after my graduation, after my internship. I had to stay patient for 2 or 3 months to actually land in a good offer. So apart from that, technically, I very often I go back to revisit and I actually revise my basics. Like basic is that I told right my Linux skills, networking, encryption techniques, whatever. So another very important thing for those who actually wanting to get into the industry is that use your social media in a way in the maximum possible positive way. Connect with the people whom have this similar interest. So my CTF team, my peers are very strong than me. Technically, they are very much strong than me. Even though most of them are still college students, they are very much stronger than me. I do learn a lot from them. So make sure you have a very good social circle in the hacking community. I have not seen a lot of lone wolf hackers. You would miss out on a lot of resources. So make sure you have a strong peers. Make sure you have a strong community. So also one thing I would like to do is that I recently started writing a blog to share my knowledge and to spread security awareness. I would share the link separately as well. So it is suggested that you do something. It is like contributing back to the community. So now this is what I did. I would suggest you to do these things if you want to get into the industry this particular year after your graduation, or if you are changing your industry from engineering to finance to cybersecurity or engineering to cybersecurity. These are the things I require you to do so that your entry into the industry is hassle free. First basic thing is always keep yourself updated with the industry happenings. So the mentioned blogs are the Hacker News, Cybersecurity Hub, GB Hackers, Package Storm Security. These are the standard blogs for my reference for whatever is happening in my industry. So I suggest you, even I may have missed some very good blogs. So I suggest you to Google yourself and keep yourself updated with the industry happenings. And it is suggested that you have a very professional, very strong LinkedIn profile with all your bug bounty happenings, your internships, your contribution to the community. It is suggested that you have a strong LinkedIn profile. And what a lot of people miss is that Twitter is actually very good place for cybersecurity. You can. I got a lot of very good learning resources from Twitter, guys. Believe me, not from Instagram or LinkedIn. Although I do get some resources, Twitter has a lot of stuff which it is very much useful. That too, in case if you are a beginner. So you keep looking for opportunities, connect to people, make the productive use out of your LinkedIn while actually you are not stopping preparing. I want you to look for opportunities while you're still building your soft skills and your technical skills. Keep working on your skills. You must be very much devoted on working on improving your skill set. At the same time, make sure you spend at least 1 hour in your LinkedIn for your Naukri, in your whatever website, whatever company website, for in case if you're looking for a job opportunity. So this is what I did. This is my small story, like how I came into the industry from engineering background. So further, like if you have some questions or whatever, you can always reach to me at my mail ID and my Twitter and Instagram. I'm very active in Instagram, so you can always ping me there. It's learner.03r. So further, I would like to thank the Cyberonics community and Arvind in particular for actually inviting me and giving me this good opportunity for sharing my story. And to all my, at this moment, I really want to thank my family for always supporting me, for letting me learn whatever I want, letting me be whomsoever I want to be. So thank you guys. So this is my story.